Okay, good evening, everyone, and thank you all for coming. I'd like to call to order the Whittingham Homeowners Association, Greenbriar Whittingham Community Association Joint Open Board Meeting for Wednesday, May 29th, 2025. Would you all please rise for a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Matt, can I have a roll call?
Absolutely. Tom Clark,
Here?
Jay Ressler,
Yeah.
Bob Brown,
Here.
Kathy Dodano, Joe Atanasio,
Here.
Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
Okay,
And
and, go ahead.
we'll go over to the Greenbriar board.
Mhm.
Mark Sirks,
Here?
I'm here now. Alan Greenberg's here. Chester Trubinsky.
Here.
And Jack Sandler. And from management, we have me, Matt Lubis. We got Kristen Parisa, and we have Susie Weingartner.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'd like to welcome Jack back. Nice to see you. We've missed you. Yeah? Yeah, plenty of time to work on that 10. Okay. All right, everyone, I wanted to introduce Matt Federici from the Greenery Restaurant. As you know, he's the operator of our restaurant, and he would like to speak with us briefly tonight on what's going to be happening with the restaurant as we enter into the summer season. As you all know, we've spoken about it before at the meetings. We're extending the restaurant into the pool area. And Matt will give us some details about that and other things he has planned for the coming months. So please, everyone, please welcome Matt Federici from the Greenery.
Bring pierogies.
Yeah. Thank you all for having me tonight and coming out and allowing me to speak at the board meeting. I just want to thank the board for giving me the opportunity to present what we have in store for the summer and open the floor to any questions or maybe any comments that you have for us. It's been quite some time since we've done a public address formally to the community. So just wanted to get out here tonight and just first of all, thank everyone who has come and supported the Greenery thus far. I see a lot of familiar faces already out in the crowd. And for those of you who haven't come and given us a try, hopefully, you know, with this upcoming warmer weather, you'll come and dine outside with us, or just wanted to remind everybody that we also do takeout and delivery as well. So the first announcement that I would like to announce is, so all of these changes that are going to be going into effect will be starting the week of June 8th. We will be extending some of our operating hours. So on Sundays, we will be opening up at 11 o'clock to 4:30 for poolside service and in dining room service, as well as our patio as well. So the patio will be open. The patio is open now per se, but every week and every day will be set up and ready to go for residents to come and dine there. And we will have servers out there to take orders, and as well as around the pool. So for the poolside service, we will have a server who will be actually walking around the pool and taking your orders and bringing you orders directly to you at your lounges or at your poolside setup. Everything will be obviously in plasticware, styrofoam to-go containers. We can't have any glassware or anything breakable around the pool. And we will have a dedicated pool menu with some more lighter bites and handhelds, not certain things that might get a little bit messy per se. But you'll be able to get obviously poolside, drinks and different things like that. So that menu will be launching sometime around the 8th as well. That might be a little bit longer, but our regular menu will always be available by the pool. As another thing that we'll be doing is, if Matt can take the time to pass around, we're very, very excited to be launching what we're coining as our deal days. So every day during the week, Tuesday through Saturday, we're going to be having a special offering for you. So this flyer has a little bit more on it, but I can just go over them with you. So on Tuesdays, we are going to have buy one, get one half off burger night. So we'll be having burger nights for everybody. On Wednesday will be pasta night. So we'll have a variety of different pastas and sauces that are static, and then we'll have like a special pasta or sauce that day. That will come with garlic bread and a salad. On Thursdays, we're going to be having breakfast for dinner. So I know we've had a few requests for breakfast items. So we'll be doing breakfast for dinner. Feel free to come in your pajamas, dress down a little bit, and enjoy, an early morning dinner at night. On Fridays, we'll be having pizza night. So we will be giving a free topping on the pizza. Any pizza that you choose will get free toppings. And on Saturday will be buy 2 entrees, get a free appetizer or dessert. There's no limitations on that. So if you come in with a group of 6 and you all order entrees, you'll be able to get 3 free appetizers, desserts, or whatnot. So there's more information on these flyers and graphics that Matt is passing around. Just so, let your neighbors know, let your friends know. If you want to bring anybody in from outside the community, please just let them know to inform the clubhouse or to give us a call so we can inform the gatehouse ahead of time so they can easily get into the restaurant. So I know we've had a little bit of mishaps with that. So just please, just for the ease of everyone, I know a lot of people I've seen, write on our Facebook page or to us, how do we get in? How do we get in? If any of your friends are coming in to meet you, just let them know. If you can call yourselves to give the gatehouse the heads up or to have them call us and we can inform them that, we're expecting some outside non-residents to come in today for lunch, dinner, whatever they will be meeting you for. Another thing that we actually are really excited about and that we have planned, we'll be doing frozen beverages outside. So we will have like daiquiris, pina coladas, strawberry daiquiris, maybe some smoothies. So, we're not trying to get everyone a little rowdy, but if you want to bring your own alcohol, we'll be more than happy to mix it in and make, non-virgin drinks. But for the kids, grandkids, we'll have, virgin mudslides, virgin daiquiris for them on the weekends. And during the week, we will be operating what we're going to be calling the 10th hole, the 10th watering hole at the Greenery. And that will be opening sometime in June. We're just waiting to get the machinery and the covering over and figuring out the exact spot that we're going to be, but it should be right around our little outdoor patio. So without further ado, if anyone has any questions or comments, I would love to hear anything that you might have to say or any suggestions. Please don't feel free to come and see us. And we are always open to hear that whatever you're looking for, if there's anything that you feel like we're missing or you're looking to see, we can't make any promises, but we can always do our best to try to bring it to life for you. Raleigh? You need the microphone?
I just have to say one important thing. Matt has not disappointed this community. It's been wonderful. Thank you. And I don't want any of us to disappoint him. The Greenery is a fabulous restaurant, and he didn't pay me to say that. We're gonna have a wonderful, wonderful summer. I'm in there every day. In fact, today I was walking around. Matt said, "How come you're not in the Greenery?" So I went in and I ordered a pizza. But please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, we don't want to lose this gentleman. And we got to be smart. Oh, thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Raleigh.
Got a question? Okay, Carmine. Carmine, you have to come up to the mic. Nobody else can hear you.
Is there a mic?
You mentioned the different drinks and stuff like that. Is that a partial type of liquor license that you have, or is that a carryover from the other restaurants that you have?
It's virgin drinks.
Oh,
So you would have to bring your own,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
We'll be making them virgin, but you're more than welcome to bring your own if you would like to mix it. Yeah.
All right, anyone else got any questions for Matt? All right, you guys, one more there?
Oh, yes. Okay. So for the summer hours, so Sunday's going to be a little bit earlier. So normally we open at 11:30, but on Sundays, we're gonna open up at 11 o'clock. Just, I know that there's a lot of families who come in early, so early lunch or late breakfast. And then we'll be staying open on Sundays till 4:30, just for a little early dinner. During the week, we're still gonna be staying closed on Mondays for now, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're going to be extending our hours and we'll be open till 8 o'clock. Right now, we're 7:30, so we're gonna give that a little extra half hour in case anyone's doing any activities around the clubhouse at 7 o'clock, and they might be getting over at 7:45 if they want to come in and get an order to go, or even dine in, they're more than welcome to. On Fridays and Saturdays, we're keeping it at 8:30 right now, as we haven't really seen too many traction past that hour.
All right, another question?
No, poolside will be available weather permitting. As long as it's a nice day, we will be out by the pool going around and taking orders. We will have a pool menu that will be like a hard plastic menu that we are going to be getting printed up in the next couple of weeks. That will be around there. You're more than welcome to call for poolside service, or there will be also an actual person walking around. But if they're busy running food back and forth and they're not there to meet you at that time, you're more than welcome to also call and just let them know that you're sitting by the pool, and we'll bring it right out to you. The pool menu will be available only by the pool. But if you want something more than that, you're more than welcome to order a more substantial meal off of the regular menu. But the poolside menu will just be for the pool.
Matt, can you repeat that? I didn't even.
They want to know, they just want to make sure it's okay that they're allowed to eat the food in the pool area.
Yes, you're allowed to eat it in the pool area, not in the pool. And please, everyone, clean up. I mean, we are going to be having, Matt's got his staff, they're going to be taking care of that, but you can help as well. I mean, make it easier for him, make it easier for the server. If you have something, I mean, there's trash cans that are going to be all throughout the area. Please just dispose of your stuff. Well-
Right now, the pool rules are that there is no eating in the pool area. So starting with your lovely restaurant service, I assume that means that anyone can bring food. to the pool area.
Well, you're partially correct. All right. The area within the pool and the area right outside of his restaurant are going to be exclusively an extension of the restaurant. The tables on the outside of the pool going along the building have been designated for if you bring your own food, you may sit at those tables, eat your food, or you can go down to the picnic grove area and sit at the picnic grove. All the other areas are going to be designated as, an extension of the restaurant during the summer season. Yes, ma'am.
So we will have,
Matt, could you repeat the question? I'm having trouble hearing him.
yes, so her question is how is payment going to be addressed? We have devices that we'll be walking around with that could read credit cards, and you're more than welcome to pay cash as well. So credit card, cash, debit. We have a device that will bring right to you. You don't have to come to the restaurant. We'll bring the device to you, and you are able to transact right then and there.
All right, another question?
So I love the hours and I love this right here. I think that's great. My understanding that really especially if you're school hours going to change.
Well, as of right now, they're going to stay the hours because that's what the budget calls for. But I mean, if you wanted to eat after the hours of the pool's closing, his chairs are all available to sit on the outside and eat out there.
So as I understand it, you're still planning on closing the pool.
Yes, yes. Well, I mean, it's a budget issue. I mean, the more hours I keep it open, the more hours it costs. And we've already set the budget for the year, so the money is not available. That's something that has to be determined when we approve the budget at the beginning of the year. Well, that would probably make a lot of early bird swimmers upset, so, I hear you, I hear you. I hear you. It's a valid point you're raising, except, we're kind of committed to it based on the budget that we've already adopted in, January. So, we'll look into that though, but for now, it's gonna stay those hours. Yeah. Next year's, couple of months or 6 months from now, 5 months from now, we'll be having discussion about next year's budget. And that's the time we have to plan for that. Any other questions? All right, seeing nobody else.
There's one more.
Oh, one more over there.
I just want to personally thank you for making such a difference in the community with your creative ideas.
Thank you.
Oh. All right.
Who's going to be policing the pool, preventing somebody from bringing their own food and eating there? Why did we have to drink syrup from here?
Well, all right, it's a valid question. Currently, you're not supposed to be bringing all the old past years, you're not supposed to be bringing any food in, and people were bringing food in. We're not enforcing the policy. We're putting you at your honesty and your best behavior to follow the rules that are there.
I just want to add, the reason the decision was made the way it was is because Matt is the one that is outlaying the money in order to make sure that someone is available, walking around, cleaning up. And so I think in all fairness, since Matt is incurring the cost, it really wouldn't behoove us to have him have to clean up after our mess if we bring in the food. So I think that's why we're trying to make the delineation this way. I think it's fair to him. Again, we will see how all this works out and plays out over the course of the year. And if we need to make amendments down the road, we will.
All right, thank you. Anyone else?
I didn't even say anything yet. Yes. Okay. Does this come on?
All right.
Okay, all right. Anyway, I just wanted to thank Matt personally for doing an amazing job in turning this community around. I think what makes our community unique is the restaurant situation that he has given us with all his creative ideas. And I know how hard he works, and he has another restaurant to deal with as well. So he's really worked very hard to make us all very happy here. And I hope the community will be supporting him, because I think if we lose him, we're going to lose a lot. So let's try to keep, tell our neighbors, tell our friends, tell people in other communities, please come to the Greenbriar. Thank you so much, and thank you, Matt.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right. So Matt, the great comments for you, and thank you for giving everyone a heads up of what's going to be happening for the summer. And we're all wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you, guys. I just wanted I forgot one more thing that I wanted to mention. So obviously, I'm sure some of you have seen that on June 14th, we're having a comedian ventriloquist coming here into the ballroom. So that is going to actually be a steady thing that we're going to be doing on Saturdays, starting in August. So one Saturday a month, we will be having some sort of entertainment show with a buffet aspect type thing to it that we will be doing. So please keep your eyes peeled and posted for different entertainment forms that we'll be doing here, but that will just be once a month. And then we also do still have our monthly, I should say, music inside on the end of the month. So thank you so much, everybody, and hope to see you in the restaurant.
Okay, and everyone should just read the post, because all this information will also be published in the paper. Okay, let's move on. Thank you again, Matt. Before we move any further for your report, Matt, I just wanted to let everyone know that the policy for charging in paid classes has been taken off the agenda for tonight. So we're not going to be discussing that tonight, just so in case anybody came here and didn't know that, I wanted you to be aware of that. All right, now let's move on. Matt, do you have a update for us?
Yeah.
The manager's report.
You got it. And that's a tough act to follow. Spring's in the air, guys. We have a lot going on. Happy to report that the Whittingham roof project is almost done. We have one more building to do, which is 11 Rutland. That's scheduled for Tuesday, June 3rd, weather permitting. And I'm going to say weather permitting a lot in my report because it's really affecting a lot of the things we have going on right now. That project's gone very, very well. Everyone on 11 Rutland, if you're listening to this, you're going to get a notice from Marco hand delivered tomorrow about the project. The locker room floors, we had them professionally stripped and cleaned up and everything this week. Mark Sirks personally oversaw that project. It's an inside joke, but that went very well. They look great. Long needed improvement there. Pickleball courts, we are definitely delayed with the weather. We're probably looking the end of June for a start date at this point. Still waiting for that township permit to remove one tree that I placed, so I'm waiting to hear back from them, but shouldn't be a problem. We got to remove the tree so we can put an access road in to get equipment back there. The condo driveway ceiling, that is pushed back also because of the weather. That's now scheduled for the last week of June, when we have the firm date. Hopefully it doesn't rain anymore. We'll get all kinds of notices out to everybody upon the sequence and where they're starting and where they're finishing. Our condo privacy fence project, signed contract in place. We just sent them a deposit. So as soon as they get the deposit, we'll know when they're getting the materials and we'll come up with the game plan. We're gonna have a pre-construction meeting again, where they're starting, where they're finishing, the whole sequence of buildings. So all that information will get pushed out to everybody once we have it. Again, over in Whittingham, we're doing some improvements with some speed control. We have about 26 new speed signs, big ones. They're starting to be replaced tomorrow. And then after that, we're going to be doing some stenciling on the roadways. That's delayed too. So we're probably looking at the third week of June for that. But at least we're starting somewhere. The fitness equipment got word today. They're looking at bringing everything in the third week of June. Replacing all the fitness equipment as far as the treadmills and some other things. So that's going to be a really nice improvement for everybody. We talked about some of the work we're going to do on the town center parking lot, the lower half where we're going to be crack filling, sealing it, restriping it. Right now that got pushed back from June 10th to 12th. So I need to talk to Kristen later about the calendar of events because they want to come the following week, which would be the week of June 17th. Few other things. I'm going to talk about the pool because that's a topic that's come up quite a bit. Kind of want to give everybody a little time frame of everything that happened out there because we had a lot of issues prior to opening that popped up. We got the pool basically drained, cleaned, painted, filled back up. And then starting about 2 days after we had the pool filled back up, one of the seals on the main pump failed and started spewing water. So we had to pull that out, get it rebuilt. That cost us 5 days until that got back in. So the water was sitting there, not getting filtered. So the chemicals were all off. One of the heaters, we had an igniter problem. So we had to get that fixed and a couple other minor parts. So that was all up and running before it opened. Then we noticed the water level was dropping too. This was a couple days before we were set to do our health inspection. So we found that one of the valves for the backwash was not sealing properly and was letting water out of the pool. So we had to get that fixed. And then the night before we were supposed to have the health inspection, the pool company noticed a small crack in the cover on the filter pump, which was sucking air and letting more water out. So we quickly actually swapped out that cover from the outdoor spa to the main pool so we could get it open. And the guys were here till about midnight the night before the health inspection, and we passed the health inspection. Was everything perfect out there? No, it was not. There are a few things we didn't get to before the pool opened. We're pretty happy we could actually get the health inspection open, but the grips on the railings that we ordered did not come in. So the old ones were on there. They look pretty shabby. What else did we have? The mats for the bathrooms, they were ordered. They didn't come in before the pool opened. And then some of the areas along the back cover, we didn't get the power wash after we moved all the furniture out, but we opened. So just wanted to give everybody a whole time frame of all the things that went on before we had to try and get this open. So a lot of the things have been corrected. The grips are in, the mats are in, the back deck was power washed. It's looking much better. We still have a few things left to do, but we understand your complaints and they're valid. So we just want to own up to that with you guys. And that's all I got. I'm out of wind.
Thank you for your report. Kristen, do you have anything on recreation?
Yes, so this Saturday, May 31st, we have a movie scheduled at 1 p.m. The name of the movie is The Dig. Wednesday, June 4th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the ballroom is our health fair. That's sponsored by St. Peter's Hospital. The parking lot trunk sale is Saturday, June 7th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have almost 40 participants, but you're still welcome to sign up to participate if you want. Monday, June 10th, our bus is going to resorts in Atlantic City. Tickets are available. Saturday, June 28th, we have a Chicago tribute at 7 p.m. in the ballroom. There are still tickets available for that. Wednesday, July 2nd, we're going to Wind Creek Casino. Saturday, July 26th, Ready or Yacht, a yacht rock band will be here in our ballroom at 7 p.m. Tickets for that go on sale Thursday, June 5th, and the flyer will be available on Monday. Our August 20th bus trip to see Just in Time is sold out with a long waiting list. And save the date for our 26th annual Arts and Crafts Fair, which is September 28th. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. All right, let's go to our next item was GWC business, item number 6. Questions come up at the end on the forum? Not right now.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the minutes of the April 30th open board meeting. Jack Sandler makes a motion. Second, Matt?
All right, Mark Sirks,
Yes?
Alan Greenberg,
Yes.
Chester Trubinsky,
Yes.
and Jack Sandler. Thanks.
Okay, next item, we've had a couple of questions about tree policy in the Greenbriar section, and Chester's going to speak to that.
Simply put, a tree is required on the front lawn of most homes in the Greenbriar community. There are a few exceptions. For example, if the lot is too small, or if utilities are underneath the area where the tree would go. That's pretty much the situation. Now, a tree may be missing. You may observe a tree missing driving through the community, and there's another reason for that. The homeowner has elected to remove the tree and replace it at a later date. You might not want to put a tree in the middle of summer, so they'll defer planting until fall when it's a better likelihood of survival. There's also one final reason. A homeowner has simply removed the tree and has not told anyone and does not intend to replace that tree. In that area, I will say that neither the Greenbriar board nor the members of the site review committee routinely patrol the community for such occurrences. If anyone observes that and is unhappy about it, they can bring that situation to the attention of property management. There are many rules governing the front tree, or what's known as the builder's tree. And I found those rules back in the community rules and regulations governing Greenbriar, dated June 2016. First off, an architectural modification application, I'm sure everyone is very familiar with that, is required to remove and replace a front yard tree. The site review committee approves those applications. In order for the site review committee to approve the application, the homeowner must obtain approval from the Monroe Township, I guess, Conservation Committee, or there's this whole set of rules. You can find them on the website. And those rules basically require that a tree greater than 4 inches or greater caliber needs a permit, and I believe the permit costs $35. We have our own rules in terms of what tree is going to be can be replaced. We have an oversized maple trees on your front lawn. You want to replace it with something smaller because it's tearing up your driveway or your sidewalk. There are 5 approved trees: the Eastern Redbud, the Canada Red Cherry, Little Leaf Linden, October Glory Maple, and Quonset Cherry. Any one of those 5 will satisfy the site review committee. We're looking for a tree of 2 to 2.5 inch caliber if you're going to do a replacement. And there is, in the event that you're taking out a large tree, sometimes there is a lot of roots in the ground and so forth. Makes it difficult to plant a new tree. The rules say that you can plant a new tree plus or minus 3 feet from the original spot. There's also a rule that says you cannot have more than 1 front lawn tree. Basically, the rules are trying to address the fact the lots are rather small. And then one other point, that as far as the rear yard goes, you're free to pick whatever tree you'd like. There's no requirement that a specific species be chosen. The only restriction would be if the tree is known to grow more than 30 feet in height, that you would want to space these trees 35 feet apart. Now, for most of our lots, that doesn't make 35 feet apart. You get 1 tree and that'll be it. If you really want to leave something for the community and be remembered, you could plant a redwood back there, or you could bristlecone pine. Right. It'll be there many years after you've left the community. Anyway, that's pretty much the rules and regulations governing trees for our community.
Just one quick question. Are you telling us that, do you have a list of the properties that are restricted from having a tree because of the sewer line? So you're depending on the residents of Greenbriar to let you know where a tree is not planted?
Frankly, we're depending on the management as they move about the community. If it's a violation, that they should be calling out that there's a tree missing. Now, they do have records of homes that were determined not to be eligible for a tree for the reasons that Chester laid out before, the shape or size of the lot, or we found a few homes here because of the condition underground with the pipes and utilities. There was just no space for a tree to fit.
Okay.
And those houses should be already documented in the records that they
I
have.
get that. So there are some people that are not required to have a tree.
Correct.
So if a resident is walking around and saw that a tree was removed, and then a month later, there's no tree, they can call it in.
Yeah, they call it. in.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
But
you.
it's an ongoing, we're not policing the
I get
community
that.
directly.
I get that. Thank you.
Okay, one last thing on trees that Chester missed. And I know this because this was my motivation for changing out my tree. Chester did indicate that a lot of the early trees that were planted by the developers have now grown to where they're doing damage to the sidewalks and the driveways, which is what I experienced. My big concern more than that was the tree doing damage to the sewer line or the water line. The same roots that are wrecking your sidewalk are also capable of wrecking your water line. Sidewalks are a lot cheaper than replacing those sewer lines. So that's really your motivation. If you see a tree in front of your house that is lifting up the sidewalk or lifting up the driveway, think about what's going to happen if it starts getting into the sewer lines.
In the past, we have had, I'm aware of, I remember 2 homes that had major damage to their piping in their homes based on the roots from the trees eating away at the strangling the pipes. Each of those homeowners incurred costs of approximately $10,000 to redo their driveway, redo the pipes. It's a big mess. So having a large tree might be beautiful, might give you a lot of shade, but it often can create a lot of problems with the piping underground.
Okay, next we have consolidation policy update. I'll talk about it very briefly. I'm going to leave the meat of this discussion to Kathy, but everyone should know by now, because you've seen it 5, 6, 7 times advertised to you via email and everywhere else, that Kathy and I have been putting on presentations here with slides and spending as much time as is necessary answering questions, talking to people, and trying to explain to them why we're doing this, how it's going to work, how it will impact them, and how it won't impact them. And by won't impact them, I mean financially. This won't impact the finances of any of the individual elements here, WOA, Whittingham, Greenbriar. There'll be no financial impact there. No, at no time will funds from one community or one entity be used for another. If WOA is out of money and Whittingham has money, they're not going to be spending their money over on WOA. They'll all stay the same. And that's some of the biggest questions that people have had. So we've gone through that. I think we have just the one more scheduled. We did say we'll schedule as many as necessary, but the number of people attending has dwindled, but it hasn't. I'm waiting for the day when I walk in and nobody's here, and that hasn't happened. So I'm appreciative of that. But if one person shows up, we'll put the dog and pony show on for one person. But we do have one more coming up, and I would urge people, whether they've attended one before or not, if they have any doubts, any hesitation, any questions, any belief this is going to harm them, hurt them, or be bad for the community, that's the meeting to come to. That's the one where you tell us what your worst possible scenario is, and we'll get a chance to address it. We may convince you you're wrong, we may not convince you, but that's your opportunity to be heard, and that's our opportunity to explain our position on it, because we're very all much in favor of this. So that's where we stand. Kathy will talk a little more about it, but Tom pointed out to me, Matt, as long as I got the moment here, I was going to email you, but Tom pointed out to me, you have to get the activities in place with Vote HOA to get this thing going. So whatever it takes to, it's pretty quick and easy, I imagine.
Yeah. I just made a note to talk to you guys about that.
Yeah, okay. We do have the final documentation from the lawyers. I think it's in final form. It's a pretty dense legal document that'll be summarized on the cover, and that will be emailed out to you along with the opportunity to vote. We'll open the doors to voting. It's a long voting period through July, and let's see if we can make this happen, folks.
Yeah, I just want to address those who have not attended one of our informational sessions. So for those either that have not had the time or will not be able to attend the next session, which is June 5th, that's a Thursday at 6:30 in the ballroom. If you cannot attend that meeting, I'm just going to give a small recap. I want at least everyone to understand the basics and the intention behind the consolidation. So I'll start off by saying it is both boards, the Greenbriar Board and the WOA Whittingham Board, are proposing the consolidation of the two boards. Just to give a general idea, currently there are 5 members on the Greenbriar Board and there are 7 members on the WOA/Whittingham Board. That will become the proposal is to become the new GWOA Board, Greenbriar WOA. The new board will have 9 board members. There will be 6 Greenbriar board members. They will make the decisions regarding Greenbriar homes. There will be three Whittingham board members, and they will make the decisions regarding Whittingham homes. All nine together in one room, a unified board, will make decisions regarding the common property, the amenities of our community, the town center, the pickleball courts, tennis courts, shuffleboard, etc. So all of that, the restaurant, all of that will be made together in one room, so that Greenbriar will be involved in decisions regarding common property, and WOA and Whittingham members will also be involved. So the voting yes or no on the proposal on the consolidation of the two boards will begin Thursday, June 5th. We're also holding that last informational session, June 5th at 6:30. We can add more on if we find that people still have questions. The voting will open or commence June 5th. It will stay open until July 17th. And the reason for that is if anyone has questions, if anyone is concerned about what exactly this means for the community, we urge you to contact us. We can add sessions. If you cannot make the June 5th session, we can add others. But we are more than happy, any one of the board members, more than happy to address any concerns. The two boards, I think, and I speak for everyone on the board, is very much in favor of this. It will be a tremendous savings, not necessarily financially only, but in terms of time for management, your time attending more than one meeting if you're a Greenbriar homeowner. All of that will now be combined, one board, one meeting, a lot easier for the community, a lot easier for our management. Again, I just want to stress what Mark said about the financial impacts. Nothing will ever be commingled. Currently, we have three separate entities, three separate sets of accounts, three separate capital reserve accounts. In fact, our accounts are at different banks. So separate bank accounts, separate banks, separate capital reserve accounts, separate operating accounts. Nothing will change. There will be no commingling of any accounts. So I think that has been the biggest question in our session. I just want to make sure that that is clear. And that's it. Please
Okay,
vote yes. We need 2/3 of the community. It is a hard vote. But we urge you to speak to your neighbors, let them know to vote, make sure that they vote. A blank vote or a absentee vote is a no vote. So we need 2/3 in order to pass this. Thank you.
okay, thank you. Let's move on to the next order of business. Item number 7 is the Wellwood Business. Got the approval of the April 21st, 2025 open workshop meeting minutes. Everyone have an opportunity to review it. Do I have a motion to approve it? Moved by Jay, second by Kathy Gleason. Okay, Matt, can I have a roll call?
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler,
Yes.
Bob Brown,
Yes.
Kathy Donato, before I said it, Joe Attanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. Thank you.
We have next the approval of the April 30th, 2025 joint open meeting minutes. Everyone had the opportunity to review. Do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Bob Brown, second by Joe Antonaccio. Mac, have roll call.
Sure. Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Respler,
Yes.
Bob Brown,
Yes.
Kathy Dodano, Joe Attanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
All right, the next item we have is the approval of the open house policy as drafted and circulated to the community. We've emailed this, we've made it available in the room last week, so we had a lot of discussion on it. If anyone would like to have a comment on just this item, please come to the microphone and ask your questions. All right, seeing no one in the audience, I'm going to close the public portion on this. Anyone on the board have any comments on this? Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve? By Joe and Kathy? Okay,
Okay, Tom Clark,
yes.
Jay Respler,
Yes.
Bob Brown,
Yes.
Kathy Dodano, Joe Attanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. Thanks.
All right, next item, I have approval of a proposal for the installation of concrete parking stops and ballards in the nurses' parking area with Johnson Barron for $5,100 to be paid from the operating account. Just so if you weren't here last week at the meeting, this was discussed a couple of months ago. There was an incident in front of the nurses' station where somebody lost control of the car. Wound up going onto the property, took down a flagpole, took down a light pole. And thank God nobody was in the area and was struck by the car. So after reviewing this, we made an opinion for safety. We had to put some kind of parking stops and ballards in case that ever happened again. It would prevent that car from coming onto the property and the car would be stopped. So that's what this contract is for, to have these ballards and car stops put in place. Anyone in the public have any comment on this particular item? All right, seeing nobody here, no one answering, close that part. Anyone on the board have any comment on anything? Okay, can I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jay, second by Jeff? Okay,
Okay, Tom Clark,
yes.
Jay Respler,
Yes.
Bob Brown,
Yes.
Kathy Dodano, Joe Attanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson. Thanks.
Next item is the approval of the proposal for WOA and Whittingham irrigation startup repairs for irrigation specialist, that's the name of the company, for a cost of $18,900 to be paid from the operating budget. Again, this is generally a pretty routine item that comes up every year when we start begin opening up the sprinkler system, and it has to be repairs made to it because of what's broken and what didn't last through the winter and so on. So that's what this contract is for, to start the work to get all that work accomplished. Does anyone in the public have any comment on this? Okay, Barbara, I see you. It should be on.
Yeah, it's too high. Mike, I'm curious, what does their contract cover that we now need to pay an additional $18,000 to get repair work done?
Okay, Matt, you want to take?
Yeah,
that
Barbara,
question?
their contract covers basically starting everything up and getting everything, the water charged up, the meters up and running. And it also covers the winterization where they blow all the lines out and everything. Any repairs that need to be made, replacing sprinkler heads, repairing lines, that's all an extra charge, and it has been that way for a long time. So nothing's really changed with that. What we changed a little bit this year over last year was we actually asked them for a detailed list of every single thing that was broken and the location, which they did for us.
Okay, what's their base contract cost?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. It's minimal with the startup and the shutdown. I think the startup is only $5,000 for all the common areas, Whittingham and the town center. And I think it's right around the same for the winterization.
Okay, is the 18,000 itemized?
It's itemized by section. So we have every single location of where everything needs to get replaced.
So next year, if there are things that need to be replaced, it won't necessarily be the same things as this year.
Well, we'd hope not. We could cross-reference it.
We don't know how, it's, every season it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, some water could have been left in the line and the sprinkler head, it didn't quite make it out there and it froze over the winter and it's broken.
Okay. There's no responsibility to LMS for damages to.
Well, this is an LMS.
I know that. I'm just asking if they are not.
Well, if they damage the heads, yes,
Yeah,
yes. they are.
Absolutely.
How do we know?
How do we know? It's a good question.
It's actually pretty easy to see.
Yeah, well, I mean,
If their lawnmower hits a head,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy
Yeah,
to
we
tell
don't- we
who's
don't-
responsible.
we don't follow
So-
them, but
so
you
in
can see
other
the
words,
damage.
A month after they do this repair work, if I see a sprinkler head that's going straight up, or it's watering the street rather than the grass, then that could be assessed to LMS or
Yeah, I
not?
mean, it could be a number of things, but I mean, definitely report it to us and we'll figure out if it's
I
just,
do.
if it's something that got maybe hit by a lawnmower or it's just, a valve that's sticking on and letting the sprinkler head stay up, but just report it to us and we'll determine, who's responsible. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it, Barbara.
So
Okay.
Barbara, I think generally speaking, a homeowner will notice that the lawnmowers were just running and all of a sudden this evening, my sprinkler head is going up. So they would identify that. They should pass it on to Matt.
The only
And-
problem is that a lot of the sprinkler heads in Whittingham go off at 4 AM, 2 AM. You may not notice it. You may notice that your lawn is brown, but you may not notice that it's not working. It takes a while.
You're absolutely correct. And unfortunately, there really is no way for even LMS to know that they ran over a sprinkler line a lot of times.
Yeah.
So like I said, generally speaking, it would be a homeowner who notices something is wrong with the area and oops, this head looks like it was run over, it's squashed, it doesn't look like it should.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we hold LMS to every single broken head that they may run over. But we try. We have a method, I think, where we can do that.
Okay, anyone else in the public?
Let me just say one other thing. We tackled this same issue in the Greenbriar side, where all the sprinkler heads are owned by individual homeowners. Periodically, a head would break. They were pressing LMS to replace them. At some point, they were doing that, and they finally said, no more. We're not replacing any of these more. And their thinking, we thought, was real fair. If they've damaged a sprinkler head, is because it failed to pop back down below ground level where it belongs when the lawnmower comes along. No sprinkler head that's functioning correctly should be damaged by a lawnmower because it's down by the ground. If a lawnmower knocked out a sprinkler head, it was because it failed to retract properly, and that's the fault of the sprinkler head. These sprinkler heads, if you've looked at them, they're very inexpensive plastic parts and subject to failure. So if a spring inside of them is no longer functioning, the head won't drop back down, the lawnmower comes along. It's hard to place a blame on LMS for that. So that's where we ended up in the Greenbriar.
Anyone else?
I have a simple question. The other day it was downpouring rain, okay? I'd like to know, as far as the property is concerned, the whole development, who controls the sprinkler heads? I was driving and it was pouring and all the sprinklers were running. Okay?
Where was that, Carmine?
I'm talking around the gatehouse, all over the place. In front of the building here, sprinklers were running. The other problem is that I noticed today, I don't know if you did too, but since 8 o'clock this morning, all the lights, the lamppost lights, were all on. They've been on all day long. I don't know who's covering this up, but somebody had to see it. The sprinklers are running when it's raining. And it's the middle of the day, the sun is shining, and all the lights are on and all the lampposts all along Whittingham Drive.
Well, Carmine, if you see something like that at any given time, pick up the phone and call the office and let them
But
know it.
somebody should see it.
Well,
I mean,
maybe,
it's obvious.
maybe somebody didn't see it. I don't know.
Yeah,
But if you saw it, just call and call it in.
okay.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know about it, that's all. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Carmine. I was not aware of the Whittingham Drive ones. We did have them on out in front of the clubhouse for most of the day because they're installing a new pole and they're trying to find a short that's out there. So they were on. Just one point, Carmine, you live in Greenbriar, right? Okay, I also do. And I have a monitor on my gutter. And it detects the rainfall. And it shuts it off right away. So I don't know what's going on in the other part of the community, but that's just, okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, folks, if you live in Greenbriar, you can talk with your irrigation company about installing a sensor. They attach it to a rain gutter and it wirelessly advises the box that's in your garage not to turn on the sprinkler that day because it's been raining. So you're not watering soaking wet lawns, which of course, soaking wet lawns is one of our biggest problems. Well, if you've had an old one for 25 years, it well, the older ones may or may not be working. They involved, the wired ones involved using a little piece of felt material. And if the felt material inside the sensor was wet, it notified the sprinkler box not to turn on. When I went to replace the felt material, the sprinkler company said, just replace the sensor. The new ones now don't require that, and they function wirelessly. You put the device up on the gutters, and it wirelessly communicates to the sprinkler box that it just rained, and there's no maintenance involved. So that's the way I went, and that's what I recommend everybody do. It's stupid to water a lawn that's in the rain.
Everybody.
No, I
can
know,
hear you,
you're talking
Carmine.
about the common elements. Right, the common elements, they should also have some sort of a sensor. I don't know what their mechanisms are, but.
All right, well, we're getting off the subject. This contract is for the beginning of the season. They go around and they check the entire system and they see what's bad and they repair it and they fix it. They identify it and we have all the sheets showing us all the work they're doing and where it's being done. And if my memory is correct, Matt, this is down substantially from last year.
Yeah, I believe last year we had close to $30,000, I believe, Kathy, in startup repairs.
Had more than that. It was upwards of 50,000 last year. There were a lot of broken heads last year. I don't know what they did the prior year. Could be that they left things undone.
Yeah, well,
And then
the
last year
issue
we-
was,
we had a lot.
you're shaking my memory here. The issue was, it used to be when the old management was here, this company would just come in and do the work, select the parts and do whatever they wanted to do, and then we got the bill. So we changed that last year. And I think that reflects in the bill that we have this year. All right, anybody else in the audience? I see nobody in the audience. I'll close the public portion. Anyone on the board have any comment on this? Where, on this item? No, just on this item, just this item. Anyone on the board? Okay, do I have a motion to approve? Moved by Jeff, second by Kathy Gleason. Okay, Matt.
Okay, Tom Clark,
Yes.
Jay Vesper, Bob Brown, Kathy Dodano, Joe Attanasio, Kathy Clark and Gleason, and Jeff Simonson.
All right, the next item is the committee reports and it's all Greenbriar.
Go ahead, Jack.
Okay, so regarding budget and finance, going back to the fall, Kathy Dodano, a member of our Greenbriar Budget and Finance Committee, prepared spreadsheets for us. We reviewed them, and the Budget and Finance Committee made decisions regarding our budget for this coming year. So I'm very pleased to tell you that as of April 30th, we're right on target with our budget. We are not overspent in any way. Matter of fact, there's some monies left over because we were fortunate that there were no heavy snows in January and February. So we have that money left over. I hope not. We won't have to use it for November or December storms, but that money is still there for us. We are very, very right on target with our budget. So that's a very, very good thing. I just want to add one final note about the consolidation. About 9 years ago, the concept of a consolidation of the two boards was reborn. It had been around 20 years ago. It was reborn, and for 9 years, I've been on the board more than that, but we've been talking about a consolidation of the boards to make life simpler in this community. And finally, we're about to vote on this concept. Both Mark and Kathy and other people have said both boards are agreeing. I just want to say it's more than just both boards are agreeing. There are 11 people around this table who are individual homeowners in this community. And all 11 of us are in agreement with this whole concept. Each of us has a home to protect. Each of us has a monthly assessment to pay. Each of us is involved with what goes on in this community. So it's not just two abstract things called boards, but also 11 people, both Greenbriar residents and Whittingham residents, who are involved in protecting what is ours. And all 11 of us agree that this is the right thing for this community. So I hope that makes sense to anybody sitting out there who has any doubts or any trepidation about this whole thing. There's nothing to be concerned about. The monies are held, as Kathy said, in separate accounts. They're separate corporations. They file separate tax returns. So there's no commingling that will take place. Nobody on the Whittingham side is going to give away their money to Greenbriar or any of these combinations. It's just not going to take place. So as the person who has been on this board, maybe the longest than other people, and has been fighting for this and encouraging this for the longest time, I encourage everybody to think about 11 people. Where else can you have 11 people agreeing on one concept? It's really an amazing kind of thing. We sat down, we worked with this WOA board, we worked with Greenbriar board, we worked with the Whittingham people, and we're all in agreement that this is the right thing for this community. Thank you.
Covenants?
After we.
Anything from covenants? Covenants only meets if someone gets some sort of violation and wants to argue about it, or if they have some other issue with the board or management and they want that matter adjudicated. So they only read as is necessary. So I don't think we've had anything from covenants. Site review?
Yes. The committee met on May 6th. 26 applications were received, reviewed, and approved. 17 inspections were undertaken by the committee members of completed work. Everything went well.
And as far as newcomers is concerned, we haven't had a meeting now in a few months. I anticipate probably having one over the summer for newcomers into the community.
Okay, thank you. Let's go on with the WOA reports. Do I have anything on the budget and the finance?
So on budget and finance, we've received our April financials. They are available on the portal for anyone who wants to go through the balance sheets, income statements. You can see actual versus budget. As Jack indicated, we are currently on budget. We do have quite a few items for WOA that are coming up in the coming days, in the coming months, actually, that are sort of big ticket items. and that we are expecting will take us a little bit on budget, a little bit over budget perhaps, but not significantly. But we will monitor as we go along. Whittingham is just right on target, right on budget, no major issues there. Of course, we are preparing for quite a bit of capital reserve work. And by the end of the year, we will be at the levels that we anticipate we should be.
Alrighty, thank you. Covenants, any report?
Not need to meet this month.
Okay, so nothing to report there. Entertainment Committee.
Entertainment Committee has booked entertainers through July of next year, and we have some really good entertainers coming. And there'll be a flyer sent out for all the events, and we hope everyone attends. They're great performances.
Okay, just one other thing on entertainment. We have a trunk sale on June 7th, I believe, Chris? Okay, a yard sale. We're inviting outside people as well? How is it being advertised on the outside?
I was gonna speak with Debbie and ask if she could post it on the next door and all of that, because I don't have access.
Okay, so do you want it advertised on Monroe Voice? I can do that?
Yes, please.
Okay, in Monroe Township? Okay, fine.
I'm gonna create a separate flyer, so don't send out the one that I have.
Okay, just send me the flyer and I can put it out there.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Just a follow up on that. So that involves all the gated communities around us that you have a regular contact with. You're gonna let them know what we're doing for that? Okay. All right, that would be great. All right, let's move on. Next item is the Landscape Committee. Anything to report?
Yes. So in our last meeting, we had announced that we are going to do some improvements around landscaping around the community that will impact the clubhouse beds. So there are a lot of vegetation that has either developed disease in the way of boxwoods, there's plight. And so they are being replaced, upgraded, improved. There will be some additions to the main gate. Again, there are some laurels around the main gate that will also be replaced with newer, fresher. That was supposed to start. Unfortunately, because of the delays due to the rain that has been kind of pushed out a little bit. So they're hoping, and they've reported to us that they will start in about 10 days. So hopefully we'll see at least a lot of the vegetation that has died around the community. That will all be replaced. It'll look a lot better.
Okay, thank you. Site review, anything?
They approved 4 new modification applications.
Can you speak a little closer to the mic, Jeff? I don't know if they're picking it up.
Oh, okay. Approved 4 new modification applications and 2 applications are ready for inspection.
Okay, thank you.
That's assuming I.
All right, Town Center Committee?
Several items were discussed at the town center meeting that have been moved on and taken care of by our management. Mats for the outdoor pools, I think, were delivered earlier this week. What else? The ballroom carpeting and chairs are scheduled to be professionally cleaned at the end of the month. One of the other items that was brought up in the poker room, only 1 coffee pot could be used because of the electrical workup, but that's been fixed. So now you can plug in more than 1 coffee pot up there. And the woodworking exhaust fan was checked out and that seems to be doing fine. Some of you noticed that the annex floor by the nurse has been replaced, but there's still some more flooring that has to be replaced, and we're just waiting for the company to get the panels in, and then that will be taken care of. And then the last item that was concerned was that we have some copy machines that are sitting unused. But the reason for that is because the number of copies that we are allotted under our contract are being used by the management and by Kristen, who makes copies for anybody that needs them in any of the clubs, so that if we were to start using them, it would be an additional cost. So that's the only reason they're sitting empty, and that's it.
All right, thank you. All right, then we're going to move on to the open forum at this point. Gentleman up here, you had raised a question first. I'll let you be the first speaker tonight. Carmine, let this gentleman be the first speaker. I think everyone else pretty knows the rule. Come up to the microphone, name and address for the record, and it's all yours.
Thank you. This is my first meeting. I've been here 2 years. Oh, there she is with my wife.
Okay, just give us your name and address for the record.
Can you hear me? Is this better?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. So I'm not sure
I
exactly.
need your name and address. Name and address.
Thank you. I am hearing impaired.
Okay.
You may have guessed that by now. My name is Michael Corin. I live in Greenbriar. We bought our house in.
All right.
74 Chichester Road.
Alrighty, thank you.
Do they need the phone number?
No.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
We don't take email addresses either.
Okay.
So we're okay.
So now I can go?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, so I want to be able to talk to you at the same time I talk to the audience, that I am concerned.
We hear you fine. Don't worry.
Okay, I am concerned with the changes that I've seen in our community since I moved here. We are delighted to be here. We love the people we've met. We love the homes. We love the quality of life. I love the golf course. Everything about it. We love working out. So I want you to know this is not a gripe session. We are as pleased as punch. And yet there are around us so many issues that seem to not be a part of the public discussion. And I'm not sure how to begin, but I would ask all of you a simple question to start with. Is any of you a lap swimmer? Do you swim laps for working out? Do you use the indoor pool? Any member of the board?
No. Not that I'm aware.
No. So I would have to guess that on the subject of how we handle the difference between indoor and outdoor, how we handle where the lifeguards are assigned, are for the most part strictly fiduciary and not reflecting the board's feelings about what you would like to see happen. I don't mean anything negative by that, but if I begin to go into detail, perhaps you will have some understanding of what I'm asking. So first of all, I didn't really notice much the outdoor facility until I was starting to putt on the golfing green and practice my chipping there. And one looks at the back of the pool and one is astounded. I brought my children to play, proud as could be, and they said, "Dad, what's going on? What is this place?"
Okay, can I say one thing? I interrupt you. It would have been painted already, but because of the weather, the painter has not been able to do it. So it's being addressed.
This is
All
not.
right, I'm just letting you know. I just wanted you to know because you're concerned about
I
it.
think that's something. Do you know that they aren't sanding?
They
Do you-
power washed the entire
That
wall.
they are painting without sanding the wood first?
They
Do you know
power-
that they're painting without staining? Are you aware of this?
I'm aware of everything going on there. Yes, sir.
Are you okay with that?
It's being done correctly. So what you're saying needs to be done is not necessarily
Have you
correct.
ever painted?
Yes, many times. Thank you.
Did you sand and paint before you painted?
It depends what I was painting.
They are not shipping off all of the old
Let's not go there. That's not.
It
what I'm-
was power washed
So, I'm
off.
sorry, you
Okay,
interrupted me.
so go ahead, all right. I'm just telling you, the issue you raised is being addressed, that's all.
I can see that, but it's curious to know whether it's being successfully addressed.
It's not completed yet.
Let me suggest this to you. When Matt stood up to tell us about the beginning this season of the pool and what needed to be done, he went through about 8 or 10 different items. And with each one at the end of it, he said, and of course, now these situations are being addressed. And I am sure that they are.
Okay.
But are they being addressed in a way that is a Band-Aid? Or are they being addressed in a way that the community will one day have a pool that represents the quality of life to which we all aspire?
The
And
answer
these
is
are
yes.
very different subjects.
Okay.
And as I watch what's going on, I'm not sure that the modus operandi of how we take care of things is in fact to put a Band-Aid on it, to change the sprinkler head. Okay, instead of taking a look at what needs to be done. I know these are hard questions. I know it all ultimately comes down to money. And I know management has a job to do, but is the board responsible for what management is doing? Or is management responsible for what the board is doing? How does this work for us?
Would you like to volunteer to serve on the landscaping committee?
That's not what we're discussing.
This,
I think it is.
I would be happy to participate. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not against that. And I said to you, this is my first time here. It's not my first time walking around Greenbriar. And I am not casting aspersion. I am not.
I know.
I am saying we have a situation which is not being addressed properly. And isn't it not possible to, instead of having a short-term solution to all of our problems and fixing the 11 different things, to taking a look at what maybe needs to be done, painful as that decision will be? That is all I have to say.
All right, fine.
And I'd be happy to be a part of the landscape committee.
All righty, that's good. Thank you. Next, please.
Carmine Campanella, 80 Leeds Lane. I come to these meetings and I listen to every one of you, and you go down the line to different committees. And the one committee that always bothers me is when they mention Covenants Committee. For Greenbriar, nothing to say. WOA Covenants Committee, nothing to say. I was chairman of the Greenbriar Covenants Committee for about 4 years, many years ago, succeeded by Joe Atanasio. At that time, we would get 8 to 10 cases a month of people who had, complaints that they were ticketed wrongly or whatever, okay? My question is, either the Covenants Committee is not doing their job, which I don't think is right. I think they are doing their job. But what I'd like to know is, if they're doing the job, then security is not doing their job. We used to get ticket violations all the time. What I would like to know is, if we could have an accounting on a monthly basis of how many violations the security gives out and are paid. Because it sounds like the Covenants Committee is not doing a damn thing, and I'm sure they are. Because if they don't get complaints of people contesting, and I, for one, I have to admit, the other day, I got a ticket. Why? Because I was in a hurry and I forgot to put my handicap sticker on, and when I came back, I had a $10 ticket. So my choice was either to fight it or pay it. And being the chairman of a committee, I knew how much of a pain in the ass I was. I says, I'm not going to fight the chairman. So I just paid the ticket. So is there any way that you can give us an accounting on a monthly basis of what kind of a job security is doing as far as handing out violations?
Carmine, you brought this actually up last month, exactly the same speech.
No,
At
I didn't.
first- Yeah, you did. You did. And as a result, you got a ticket and I got a ticket. So, and the thing is, I got a ticket. So the thing is, yeah, I wrote a check. So the thing is, The thing is, first of all, I think you know, and I just want to make it clear to everybody, this is of no fault of Covenants Committee. We have a good, vibrant Covenants Committee of talent. When having to deal with a covenants issue, they do a great job. The problem is, if you call it like Carmine, I'm not going to argue with the Covenants Committee. Oh, I forgot to put my handicap tag up. I'm just going to pay the $10. If it was $100, maybe that would be different. Of course, we don't have the ability to change that $10 figure very readily in our community. So at $10, I just happy to make my contribution. Same thing with Carmine. And that's what's happening, Carmine. People are getting their tickets, maybe not as strongly as in the past, but as a result of your having brought it up last time, you and I both got nailed, and I'm sure other people have.
You're giving the wrong impression. You're giving everybody the impression that I am against what the Covenants Committee is doing.
No, not at
I'm
all.
Not against them.
No,
They're
no, I'm
doing
not
a good
against
job.
anything you've said. I'm just saying, I think you lit a fire last time because I saw my ticket and apparently you saw yours and other people are going to say they got a ticket. But to suggest that because we have no Covenants Committee meetings, therefore no tickets are being given is a wrong conclusion. You can't conclude that. Even when tickets were heavy, very few people came to Covenants because they were guilty. And so to argue, for a guilty person to argue for leniency on a $10 ticket makes very little sense. So I was involved in a number of those covenants, and guys would come in and say, well, that's not me in the car, and too bad, it's you.
But what you're
Give me your $10.
You're missing what I'm trying to say.
Go
Is
ahead.
there any way we can have an accounting of how many tickets are given out and paid?
What do you guys feel about that? Is that listen, if it's going to cost $100 to account for $30 worth of tickets, I'm not all for it.
Sure,
But
there's more
Matt,
than $30 worth
is
of
it-
tickets.
Matt, we have all that information.
Yeah.
Marco is constantly out there in the parking lot looking for offenders, which is why he got you, Mark. No offense. But I always say, I mean, every time I'm looking out there, I'm like, Marco is just the parking lot police. I mean, he's out there nonstop. We do have an accounting of it. I mean, I don't know if we want to broadcast that to everybody or not, but a lot is being done with tickets. And like Mark said, a lot of people are like, I'm guilty. It's $10. I'm not going to fight it.
Okay, all right.
Whatever.
Okay.
You guys are doing a good job, and I just wanted to bring, oh, they know me. Wally Reich, 3 Wellfleet Street. Okay, one of the reasons why we're trying to combine the boards is because you see all these 11 people who are very devoted to their job. It's very hard to get 11 people. And we're hoping that that will be the amount of people that are going to run or be elected. It will be a consolidated amount. I'm concerned about one thing. I came from good old Brooklyn, and I lived in a Mitchell-Lama housing that we turned that we turned to a private housing group. And it took me, I was president at that time, it took me a long time to turn around 1,500 families. And I love the way you're doing this, because I had said in the beginning, you got to pound it into these people every single week, and it's happening. The only thing I'm afraid of is that there are people that don't come to these meetings and don't care if this building stood or fell. I think that something has to be done with the people that do not come here. I was hoping, but I heard differently. I was hoping we could say anybody that doesn't return their votes, that would be a yes vote, but it's a no vote. So you really have to consider that. I'm sure you have. But that's a very large amount of people who will have to vote. So keep up the good work. Good luck.
Thank you. Next person, please.
My name is Lori Hasner, 58.
I'd just like to add something to.
58 Chichester.
Hold on,
One second.
Hold on.
I just want to respond to Lolly. We are also, the reason we are holding open the voting period for so long is that what we would like to do. With Vote HOA, we have the ability, we cannot determine what anyone voted for. Not allowed. They are a reputable company. They would never, ever divulge that. But what they can tell us is who has not voted. So we're going to use that opportunity to perhaps address those individuals, those homes who have not voted, and ask them, visit them, call them, ask them why they have not voted yet. And perhaps we can explain to them, if they did not attend a session, we can possibly give them a session at that time. So Jay and I are going to do that after the vote begins and we determine how many people have voted. Again, we will not know what anyone has voted for, but we can determine who has not voted.
That's great.
Okay, go ahead, please. Name and address.
Lori Hasner, 58 Chichester. I want to respond to Michael, who was speaking about the deterioration of this place. I'm a golfer. I moved in here to play golf. I love my house. I'm on the golf course. This is why I moved to Greenbriar. It is absolutely deplorable, the condition of the fencing that Michael was talking about when you were getting up to get onto the course. The back of the pool is rotten, completely eaten away. It has been that way for years. For absolutely years. Now, I was at meetings last year when we were talking about the poor condition of the pool and all the wood rotting and how it had to be sanded and painted. Nothing was done, and now it is even worse. I am embarrassed to have my friends come here to play golf with me. And that was the reason I bought this house. And that is why I moved to Greenbriar. And it is an absolute embarrassment. And it has been going on way too long. And I think somebody has to go out there and see what I'm talking about, because it is really a disgrace.
All right, well, I'm not quite sure if you heard what we said. I'm not quite sure if you heard what we said before. We approved the contract last month for a painter to paint all that. And he hasn't painted it because of the weather.
Okay. So
He's power washed it. There's a lot of chips paint. It's been removed. He's going to finish up the job hopefully by next week or the week after. He needs a number of days of dry weather to get the work
and
done.
is he addressing behind
The entire area you're speaking about.
I will hold you to
All right,
that.
so we awarded the contract at the last meeting, so it's done. It's just that the weather's not cooperating.
Okay, I hope you're going to.
Well, it's gonna be done because otherwise this fellow doesn't get paid.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
I hate talking to a mic, but good evening, everyone. I'm Rhonda Marin.
We can't hear you. You gotta speak to the mic.
You want me to scream? I'm good at that.
That's good.
I'm Rhonda Marin. I live at 78 Chichester. Been living here now for 10 years. To kind of feed off of what Michael was talking about, which is just one issue in terms of the entire condition, physical condition of our property. We had talked about cleaning the wood in the front entrance. So yeah, they power washed it. But what happens to wood after you power wash it and you don't treat it, i.e. paint or stain? It rots. So in wasting all that money to power wash something, which is only going to make it weaker and worse. And this seems to be the
Modus operandi.
thank you so much. I'm not a good public speaker. Of what goes on here, whether it be the painting of the pool area, whether it be fixing the pool, which has been a topic of discussion that isn't really handled because apparently we have no money to fix it. We continue, we as a whole, put Band-Aids on things and we don't fix them properly from the onset. I would imagine overall, I mean, the signage where it says Greenbriar and Whittingham when you enter, I was told it was cleaned and painted. No, it wasn't. And it's outdated, but I don't care as long as it would look presentable, clean and nice. I realize that everything costs money, but we seem to be chasing our tails and playing catch up, and we never get to the finish line because nothing seems to be done right. This outdoor pool is disgusting. We live here, we pay our maintenance every month, and nothing is being done. We were told a couple of years ago that there was plans and renderings, and it was going to be June 2024, but it didn't happen. And I'm just appalled that I'm on one particular committee here, that we bring things up that I don't even understand, that if I can see it and you can see it and you can see it, that the people in charge don't. I mean, I would imagine running a facility like this, there is a manual that tells you when contracts have to be renewed, when the startup, whether it be a sprinkler or an AC, or the fencing, or the pool, who's in charge of all of this? And what is being done? Why is it that every year that I'm on a committee, we have to go through the same conversations about painting and cleaning and checking? Isn't there a maintenance schedule that someone's in charge of that should be doing it and it should be handled? And if it's not being handled, then why? I have no problem with the boards conjoining if it brings better results of things actually getting done instead of being talked about. And that's one of the reasons why I don't even come to these meetings sometimes, because I just feel that nothing gets done. And it's the recurring problems over and over and over again. There needs to be some accountability and somebody that residents can speak to where they don't feel like they're being dismissed, because after all, we are the boss, all of us that are living here. We're paying maintenance. We're footing the bill. We have a right to ask, to question, and to get things done. Thank you for your time.
Ma'am, hold on. We also own homes here. That's our first point, my first point. My second point is this. You're here how long?
10 years.
I'm here 12.
Okay.
This board and this management company took charge a year and a half to 2 years ago. Let me ask this question. We inherited all of this. We did. Any previous meetings you went to prior to us coming here, all these things were brought up. So far, in the last 2 years, we've done more in this place than any previous management company and every previous board has done. So what I'm asking you to do is please give us a chance. Rome wasn't built in a day. Greenbriar was built 40 years ago, and we inherited 30 years of neglect. We're going to get to it. I know what you're talking about behind the pool. I've seen it. Okay? And some of it is because of the landscaping of the golf committee was cutting the grass behind there and blowing it with those powerful blowers against those lattice boards. Okay? Trust me, I promise you, I gave you my word when I took this position, and my word is my bond. We will fix it.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, and I'm happy to be on other committees and work with it. But I think there needs to be a clear understanding. Clear, like we all know we need a new outdoor pool. We all know this.
Right. No, we don't, not right now.
You obviously, no, hold on a second, John. You obviously haven't been listening to what's going on in
No,
these meetings.
I'm listening.
Because the information that you just asked about, we had spoken about in great details.
I heard what you said and I heard.
All right, so we don't need a new pool, so that's an inaccurate
How old is
statement.
our pool?
It doesn't matter. It's structurally fine. We discussed all this. We
It's
laid it all
structurally
out.
fine. We
And
have,
we also told you that in 2 years from now, we're gonna do a major update, not a
you
replacement.
told me that?
We
Didn't you?
told everyone. You said you listened to the meetings. You said you heard it. You said you listened to us.
I do.
So we said it.
See,
I mean, it's nothing new here. We didn't just make this up. My name is Tom Clark.
I'm listening. I listen.
Okay.
I
Well,
pay attention.
So you're saying that we didn't do nothing, we're not aware, and we
This is what
are.
I mean by
We
how
are aware.
we are.
We are aware. I'm just letting you know, we are aware of all this.
Okay, being aware of things is wonderful, and I appreciate all the hard work that you all are doing. But something is getting lost in the translation somewhere. And when anybody asks a question, they don't get answers. There's always a problem with temperature in the pool.
You must live in a different community than I do, because every question that's ever gotten asked in this ballroom in the past 10 years has gotten answered. You must live in a different community than I do, because all the things you ascribe to this community about poor maintenance and poor quality and not done right the first time is absolutely incorrect. You must live in a different community than I do, because we're not in the same streets and buildings together, because what you described doesn't exist anywhere here. Sorry.
According to you, sir, but I have no, but I, and I'll tell
Well,
you
according
something.
to me or according to you, is she correct or are we correct? Is this place falling apart? Is maintenance not being done, or is it being done correctly?
It's
Could we all
being done
calm
when
down
it's
just a little
brought to
bit?
your attention from various committees that have representatives that continuously complain and bring it to management's attention. So my point is, and I find the way that you're actually just spoke to me really insulting.
I'm gonna let you wrap
Didn't
up your
care for that.
comments. All right.
Well, that's insulting as well.
Can I
I'm just gonna.
can I
hold it
address
here,
this issue,
because I don't wanna have
Kathy,
to
please?
leave.
just let her finish her comments.
Okay.
All right, we heard her. Thank you. All right, and who's the next speaker, please?
Hi, Wayne Baruch, 43 Winton's Way. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to attend a meeting in 3 months now, but let me start out with something really easy. What is the latest estimate for the dollar savings that we'll achieve from combining the boards? What is the latest estimate for the dollar savings that we'll achieve from combining the boards?
Our estimate, our best estimate is there will be savings, actual dollar savings in the tens of thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands?
Tens of thousands.
Savings on attorneys, I guess.
Attorneys, elections, any duplicative expenses that one board will incur and another board also incurs. As you combine the boards, those costs, those duplicative expenses will go away. Now, the larger, and we've said this in our informational sessions, the larger savings, and you can talk to management, they're there. The larger savings will come in management's time, homeowners' time, because they have to attend 2 meetings. Let me go back.
Well, that's not,
Management.
that's the management, of course, obviously is a dollar savings. Our time is not a dollar savings per se.
Well, I'm saying, again, efficiencies.
Yeah.
And also board time.
Yeah, yeah.
Board members, people who volunteer, very difficult to get volunteers. So now a board of 9 is going to be a little bit easier to contend with as volunteers than a board of 12. So those are the major components.
3 months ago, actually, I guess it was 4 months ago now, I asked to have a fulsome discussion on site triangle issues in the community. And I gave a letter to Matt with a request to give it to the Greenbriar board because I live in Greenbriar. And that happened. Unfortunately, the discussion never happened. I guess it was taken off the agenda. So one possibility is Mark blew me off, or the board blew me off. The other possibility is they gave it to Fran McGuffin.
Keep my name out of your mouth. I didn't blow you off. Quit saying my name. It's all board decisions as always. Thank you.
That the Greenbriar board blew me off. The other possibility is they passed the request, the letter, the citations our shrubbery rules, our traffic safety rules, and New Jersey Department of Transportation safety standards off to Fran McGovern for his consideration. Did that happen? Did that happen? No answer. I didn't expect there would be an answer. Okay. So there was discussion about moving the stop lines up. Okay. What did he say, if anything? What, if anything, did Fran McGovern say in response to my citations, which were accurate, by the way?
Matt, were there not discussions with the homeowner at lead on Cats with the veracity of Wayne's position and found it was that not the case?
Yeah, Don mentioned that in the meeting.
He looked into,
Yep, he looked into
he
it.
looked into the matter with regard to Wayne's position that the bush was too close to the corner and found information not to be appropriate for the circumstance.
Well,
Correct.
that premise would seem to say that as long as you initially have a site triangle variance, that you can do whatever you want with that area, which doesn't pass the sniff test. Because that would say, okay, I can block whatever the heck I want anytime in subsequent construction in subsequent years. That completely eliminates New Jersey Department of Transportation standards, and it completely eliminates our rules on shrubbery maintenance and our rules on traffic safety.
Wayne, all I know is, and again, I want to remind you, but the boards, it's not me. It's not me. It's not you versus me. You keep indicating that there's some.
You're the board president, you're the leader of this board.
Yes, but when you were on the board, you were aware that all board matters are discussed by the board and decisions made by the board.
Nope, you taught me that the board president has greater than a 20% vote.
I want to interrupt you because I run the general meeting as a rule.
Let me,
please stick on topic. Let me sound personal here.
Let me put a period to this. Let me see if I can put a period to this, Wayne. The issue you brought up was brought before the homeowner, who's an attorney. And
he's a real estate attorney. He doesn't know any of this traffic.
Excuse me. The homeowner who is an attorney.
He's a real estate attorney.
Okay, you're going to interrupt me again. I'll say it one more time. If I'm interrupted, we'll end the conversation. The homeowner who is an attorney, while not an attorney on this particular matter, is capable of researching legal matters.
So am I. My expert witness work has been approved by courts of law in 5 states. Okay, next issue.
Hold on. All right. Who's left there to speak? I can't see.
Hi, I'm Terry Farrow, 117 Leeds Lane. I wrote a little letter, and I'm not really good at public speaking, so if I could just read my letter, that would be really good. Okay. Many residents were shocked and dismayed on Memorial Day that there was no DJ playing music at the pool. I have been at the pool on Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day for 18 years. And this is the first time there was no DJ. One year, the DJ was sick and called out, and I filled in. That's how much I want to have a DJ at the pool. I personally, anybody that knows me will know that I personally want music at the pool so we can dance. But there is much more to having a DJ. A DJ takes requests for dancing and singing and brings a party atmosphere. On Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day, we are supposed to be remembering our fallen service people and paying homage to our wonderful country. In years past, the DJ would take the time on behalf of all of us to thank military and first responders and their families. He would play the anthems of the different branches of the military as well as other patriotic songs and get everyone to sing along. Sharing experiences like this is the best part of being in a community. We missed all of this on Memorial Day. It was sad. Please, please bring back the DJ for 4th of July and Labor Day. I didn't have a lot of time because Memorial Day was just 2 days ago, but I got a lot of names on my petition here. And I can hand it off to you if you're interested, but that's my spiel. Thank you.
Why don't you hand that to the property manager? He'll make copies for everybody.
Kristen, would you address that? Address that? Hold on, please.
This was the first year that we did not have a DJ at the pool, but this is also the first year that we had piped in music. And some people did say that it wasn't loud enough, but Jose will be adding 4 additional speakers to the outdoor pool area.
I'm sorry, can I rebut that? Piped in music does not take the place of a DJ. Just think about all the parties we have. Would we gonna have a party and have everybody together and just have piped in music? Nobody would dance, nobody would do anything. It's not the same. The flyer went out, it said Memorial Day event. What was the event? There was food. That was
Can
it.
you answer a question for me? I've gone to these over the years. I've never seen anyone dancing at the pool when there was a DJ there.
You can't miss.
I've never seen him. I wasn't there at the right time.
I'll tell you what.
We've even danced in the pool, we've danced outside the
All right,
pool, we dance a lot.
Terry, I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. Okay? If you're in, I'm in.
What?
The cost of a DJ for 4 hours, I'll make a deal with you. The cost of a DJ last year was $700 to $750 for the day because it's a holiday. This year, it's up to $1,000. Okay? That's a big number for 3 events. That's $3,000. You want to make a deal with me? I'll make a deal with you. Okay? You want to DJ the next one? I'll DJ Labor Day for nothing. Done?
Deal.
Thank you. Problem solved.
My name is David Whitebook. I live at 35 Whitehall Road. First of all, I'd just like to compliment Matt. When the new pool committee management team came in January, there were some concerns, and we contacted him, and he made adjustments. And the indoor pool since then, until the opening of the outdoor pool, has been functioned well. And I thank you, thank everyone else. Okay. Now, no, and I think there's goodwill on the part of both management and the board. But you cannot anticipate every situation. I think the military would tell you if you have a straight playbook, the battle is never going to come out exactly as you planned. This week, we had a situation where we didn't have thunder and lightning. So the outdoor pool is open and the indoor pool was only open if you have 2 people. That's the rules. But the problem was some of the days it was 60 degrees. It was also drizzling, no thunder and lightning. But so you had 3 lifeguards patrolling an empty outdoor pool, and yet someone who wanted to use the indoor pool, if they were alone, couldn't use it. And that was a serious problem. And and I don't blame the lifeguards because they have to do what they're told. And I know there's a contract, but I think it was an honest error. But I think it's an error of the contract that we don't have some flexibility and to use common sense. I know I was an assistant principal of a high school that I was in charge of administration of a school that had 5,000 people. And if the rules and regulations in a book this big didn't make sense, if it contradicted common sense, I always went with the common sense and forgot about the rules and regulations. And in all fairness, I've been here 22 years, and the pool management company that we had before that always used common sense. So I think that's something that, again, no one would have anticipated this, but I think management should look into some flexibility depending on the weather, depending on conditions. And just two other brief things, also having to do with the outdoor pool. The whirlpool is the outdoor whirlpool is out of commission. And, it's like, if something breaks down in the middle of the season, it happens, it's mechanical. But we should have been prepared for the beginning of the season. It could have been checked out, a week or so before. And also, I know it wasn't really necessary now, but there were no lap lanes, lap dividers put in the outdoor pool. Now, I know it doesn't matter, no one was swimming there, so if you wanted to do laps, it was no one, but, soon there will be people coming. I hope we're gonna get the lap lanes put back in. And thank you for your attention. If anyone, would anyone want to respond? Matt, maybe you.
Well, I can about the hot tub part, because we kind of covered that. Maybe you didn't, the outdoor hot tub, maybe you didn't show up in time, but we had to basically steal some parts from that to get the outdoor pool up and running, but it should be all ready to go by the end of the week, I hope.
And what about the possibility when it obviously doesn't make sense to use the outdoor pool, but it doesn't meet the official requirements of thunder and lightning, having someone go into the indoor pool and watch it? Have you considered that?
Well, I mean, we did the other day when it was actually raining that we actually closed the outdoor pool.
I was there then.
Yeah, I mean, my fear is, we're looking at regulations out there from the health department. If that pool is open, we have to have somebody at the gate and we have to have 2 lifeguards because of the size of the pool. So as long as we keep the pool open, it's not like I can steal a lifeguard to put them on the inside pool, because then it's a health violation.
Well, I'd also like to, that's the thing I'm saying, to suggest to the board that they should consider hiring one person to be, even if it doesn't have to be a lifeguard, actually, according to our new rules, to be in the pool, in the indoor pool, so people could use the indoor pool when they want in the summer as well. I don't know how much it would cost, but I don't think it would be that much. And I know I don't play golf, I don't play tennis, and I don't play cards, but I'm happy to pay assessments for all of them because it makes this a better community and it serves my fellow residents. So I think most people wouldn't mind a little extra money if it meant in order to have both pools open all the time.
Okay.
My name is Sarah Cora and I live at 74 Chichester. I had a lot to talk about today about the indoor pool. I'm a lap swimmer. I swim 7 days a week. Chester, you see me? The indoor pool has not been functioning. A new heater was put in January. When I came back on February 26, a week later, the new heater was out for over a week. Just recently, it was out for 2 weeks. Yesterday, it wasn't working. Somebody fiddled with it. It was working. There have been problems with chemicals in the last year, burning people's skin, their stomachs, their noses, their chests. People have, as these people know, have complained about suits deteriorating, not only fading, but ripping and tearing and not wearable. I agree with Dave, what Dave said, that there has to be a solution for the people who were promised 2 heated pools. 2 heated pools for use all the time. I would be happy to see this establishment go to signing a waiver. I'll sign a waiver. I'll swim at my own risk. All of the health clubs, or many of them, people sign a waiver and they swim at their own risk. I am not able to swim every day because I cannot get a buddy. Today and yesterday, there were two people who I know very well. They swim from 7 to 7:45 in the morning, and there wasn't another person in that pool yesterday or today. That's 11 hours at minimum $15 an hour. That would have paid for the DJ. I'm not finished. When I go to management, there is a degree of disrespect when I'm spoken to. I'm a professional. I only retired 2 years ago. I've never been spoken to in the way in which this gentleman has spoken to me. And sir, I don't know your name. Mark. I'm a little surprised at the tone that you have taken with some of the people who have spoken. Please, let me finish. You can talk to many people here. This is not how an executive person, a person who is the leader of a board, you are trying to make this work. You're trying to get everybody to work together. And you are being disrespectful and offensive and rude. And I will not use any foul language. Not yet, please.
Okay.
Not yet.
All right.
The other day, no, this is one thing I want to say. The other day I came.
Excuse me, 1 minute. Please don't make this directive to.
Oh, it's not
Okay.
just this gentleman.
Just stick to your issue. Please stick to the issue.
Let me just say,
Stick to
I
the
do
issue.
apologize. I did react in a way that I'm not used to reacting.
I
But
understand that we're all
having
human.
been up here for 10 years and hearing folks complain about what we're doing, when I look around the community and I see a beautiful community, well-maintained, it pushed me over the edge. It isn't my normal behavior, and I accept your comment, and I apologize to Rhonda Marin for reacting the way I did.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. Matt, the other day, I came to swim on Friday, and the heater was out. And the heater was out. I happened to see Matt in the hallway, and I said, Matt, did you know the heater was out? He said, yes. And I simply said to him, Matt, was out at 6:30 in the morning. You must have known by 8. The lifeguards were calling it in. I said, don't you think it would have been respectful, kind, to send a quick email to the many people who use that pool? And Matt looked at me and he said,
I agree with you.
no, you looked at me and you said, Matt, excuse me, because your comment is what pushed me over the edge, and that's why I'm here speaking.
Come on.
May I say what I heard Matt say to me? Matt said to me, I didn't think I had to send an email out for every little thing. I wish all the people who swim there during the day, but we get emails. I've gotten 3 emails in the last 4 months about people not cleaning up their dog poop.
Okay.
You know, let's wait that.
right.
I'm finished. I said my piece.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. I'm sorry, Wayne, please keep it brief here. Anyone behind you?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right, I'm gonna close it after you.
3 minutes, kid.
Okay, has the tripping hazard at the entrance to the pool been mitigated? There is a bar at the entrance at the gate to the pool.
It was removed, Wayne.
It was fixed.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually took it off myself.
Super, super. Okay. I'll try to be brief.
You have to be.
The reason that the lighting in our stairwells now meets fire code is because I called the fire marshal.
Yeah, we know that.
Because because we'd been kicking the can down the road for too long. Okay. The night of the jazz performance, the kids did a marvelous job, by the way. I don't know if the board member who was here happened to notice the stand for the cart, for the music stands, was sitting here blocking the exit. That's called a fire code violation. That pushed me over the edge. I proceeded to take all of the photos that I've taken of fire code violations and sent them over to the fire marshal. He agreed with me, because again, my citations of fire code and safety code and risk management are accurate. That's the reason that we have the stops have been removed. It's called a life safety issue. I care about the safety of these people to my left. That's part of risk management. I care about our liability and reducing liability for our insurance policy. I'm sure you do too. I hope I'm not going to be seeing.
All right, Matt, I'm sorry. Wayne, you've made your point. This is your second go around. One more question and end it.
That's it. Long as you know, don't do it again, because I'll call the fire marshal again.
All right, well, thank you.
Keep on costing us money.
Ed, did you want to come up and say something?
Ed Pilser, 4 Phillip Court. I attended the concert on Saturday night. Excellent. I think the
Ed, can you speak into the mic?
entertainment committee is doing a great job. The problem was the entertainers were complaining, the lead singer, how hot it was on stage. And he said it multiple times. I thought he was going to go down. I can tell you from experience, the lights here.
And I can tell you right now, it's about 40 degrees sitting up here. I'm freezing.
The lights aren't on, Tom.
I can tell you.
I am absolutely freezing up here.
Those lights on, it gets very hot on stage from experience. Second, there's a vent over here that blows hot air. I don't know why it was blowing hot air Saturday night. They were complaining about it. So it might be 40 degrees there now.
No, you're right.
It's not
I've been up
Saturday
here
night.
before and we were cooking, so you're right.
I'm just saying, I'd be happy to help get a committee together to replace these lights. These are old stage lights. They're antiquated. You need LED bulbs that don't throw any heat. That's the only way it's going to work.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. What?
Thanks, Ed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, is all right, so Jerry, you coming up? All right.
We'll have to make an exception for Jerry. Last speaker, please.
Jerry Pisapia, 37 Birmingham Lane. The only comment I want to make is the heat up there is not from the lights. It's the heat vent that blows on you. I have danced on that stage with no lights on, and I was dying from the heat blowing on me. The lights do not have to be changed. Thank you.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna close the public portion. We have Zoom comments.
I think we answered most of these questions in the chat box. Only one that I don't have the answer from, Mark or Kathy may have the answer to this one, is, can you please tell me, hold on, it was about, why are there no at-large members on the new board? Is that correct, Mark?
Yes. The notion of at-large members came about as a result of a number of individuals from the Whittingham community exceeded the number of individuals running for positions, open positions on the lower board exceeded the number, what was it, three. So there were two positions for the Whittingham, for the roll board for Whittingham residents. A third member wanted to run who lived in Whittingham and was accommodated in a fashion by assigning them an at-large seat, meaning they weren't sitting in a seat belonging to Whittingham, they weren't sitting in a seat belonging to Greenbriar. It created issues, and when we designed the new GWOA board, we felt that the way we structured it, we wanted exactly 3 people who live in Whittingham community to be represented, and exactly 3 people from the Greenbriar side to be, 6 people from Greenbriar to be represented. And we didn't want a seat to have an ambiguity as to where they live. And that's why there's no at-large. It's really a very subtle matter, but we thought it made it clearer and cleaner for the way we structured the new board. Anything to add to that, Kathy? Is that the logic, right?
Okay. Yeah, you want to address again? All right, so we've closed the Zoom. Are we done with the Zoom?
That's all we have on Zoom. Everything else was answered in the chat box.
Okay, all right, so we've taken the comments and we closed the Zoom. Kathy would like to address, one of the comments
Just
that were made.
General comments. And I'm sorry that Rhonda left. I basically was addressing this to her, but I want everyone to understand. We joined the board about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
We have been extremely diligent about eliminating extra expenses that things like paying an engineer to do really nothing more for us except charge us a contingency to be there. These were all little extra costs. We're doing everything we can to try to take care of everything around the community and balance our finances. We don't have unlimited finances. And when you go and increase your maintenance costs, you get complaints. So we're trying to work as best as we can. We're trying to maintain as best as we can the current conditions. There will always be increases. Every year there will be increases as there are inflationary increases and so on. Your contracts go up every year. And we're trying to work with what we have. We do not have unlimited funds. We don't have unlimited capital reserves. We're underfunded on the Whittingham side. We certainly are working with what we have on the Wallace side, but we're taking care of everything that we possibly can, item by item.
Okay, and I agree with you. Okay, well, saying that, anyone else have anything on the board to say? All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn, moved by Jay and second by Kathy. All right, everyone, thank you all for coming and thank you for you participating in the meeting. Thank you.